Hi, second grade. We're moving on to step 2 of the writing process for our personal narrative. Step 2 is called drafting, or I like to call it write, because we're just going to be writing. So in this step, what we have to do is turn your ideas into a story, write in complete sentences, read your story before you move on to the next step. All right, so I had my pre-writing from yesterday, so that is going to help me when I go to write, or drafting. So the first thing I need to do, of course, is write my title at the top. I like to write in pencil too, so that if I make a mistake, I can fix it. The day I fell in dog poop by Mrs. Caravel. Okay, the first thing I like to do before I write, because I have these lines, and I'm gonna need a lot of space once I move on to my other steps of the writing process. So the first thing I like to do is make sure that I remember to skip lines. So I always put these dots to kind of help me remember to skip lines so that there's room for me when I have to revise and edit, which we will do later. Okay, so I start with my introduction. And before I start writing, I'm actually writing paragraphs. How exciting is that? So I'm going to do indenting. I'm just going to draw an arrow to help me remember to indent. Later on, I can erase that arrow. Okay, so I want to move over very far just for this first paragraph. So I see me, my sisters, and my mom, aunt's house. I fell in dog poop. Well, I can't just write that. I have to turn that into sentences to talk to my reader, right? So I can say, one day I was with my mom and my sisters at my aunt's house. I fell in dog poop. Okay, so that's my introduction. I talked about my characters, I talked about my setting, and I talked about what happened. So next, I get to go to my next paragraph where I start with first. So again, now I'm going to jump down to the next line. I'm going to do a bigger space to show that I'm indenting for a paragraph. Okay, and I'm just going to write what I wrote here because this was actually a sentence. So I can write that. First, comma. Oh, look at that. I underlined it in green and that'll come in handy when it's time to edit because that is a transition word. First, next, then, last. Those are our transition words. First, we were playing tag. So I'm just writing exactly what I wrote there because that was a sentence. Okay, and then I need to write next. I don't need to indent. I just keep going with that now. Next, I fell over a branch in dog poo. I fell over a branch in dog poo. Or I called it poop. I'll just do that. Okay, then I'm going to keep going. Oops, I forgot to write next. I'm going to squeeze that in here. I need that transition word, very important. I need to say then, that's my next transition word. Then my sisters laughed at me. Right now, I'm not worried about every single thing. I'm not worried about my spelling. I'm just worried about getting my ideas down. I'm not worried about everything. I just do my best, but mostly I need to get my ideas down. Okay, last, my mom gave me a warm bath. Okay, I'm done with all of my ideas that I already came up with pre-writing, but wait a minute, my reader wants more. They want to hear a closing. So I'm going to go ahead and indent again. And this time I want to talk to my reader and tell them how I was feeling and tell them about my feelings, right? I can say, I was very sad. I felt better though. Because my mom took good care of me. Okay, so that was my closing. So I always want to do an introduction, a body paragraph, and a closing so that my reader gets to hear everything I'm thinking and feeling. Okay, then before I move on to my next step, I'm going to read it over and see if I want to add anything in, and we'll work on our next step next time.